Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yashar's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, you know how we do. We give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and the Akims and the elders in the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity. All praises. And the elder women teaching the younger women. All praises to you too. And the camps and the solo brothers going out there making videos, edifying the body, pushing the truth according to scripture. All praises. Now, what I am going to touch on today, actually, this lesson is actually for brothers in the truth. This lesson is for the learnt, really. So I wouldn't really have to pull out too many scriptures, because the brothers who I'm actually, speaking to are in the truth. They know the laws, they know the scriptures. But here's the problem that I have with brothers that are in the truth. Yeah? This is the problem. This is one thing we forget. We forget. We're so caught up in keeping the laws, telling a brother where he's gone off, and so forth and so forth. We forget brotherly love. And now, before you say, some people say, yeah, but telling a brother where he's going off, that is brotherly love. Yes, it is. But also so is compassion and understanding a brother's situation. That's part of brotherly love too. Not just using the law as a whipping tool. Because the laws are not rigid. You see, and this is the problem that I have with, the whole 12 tribes. Those that, know they're Israelites. They're doing their best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. But the problem is they're using the law as a whipping tool for other brothers. Yeah? And what they've forgotten is the compassion that's supposed to be in that brotherly love. The understanding of certain situations that brothers might find themselves in. That's supposed to be in the brotherly love. All these other things that are in the brotherly love. Because this is the problem now. Is with much wisdom, when you start becoming wise and understanding scriptures and being learned, with much wisdom comes less compassionate. That's what's I've been seeing happening in Israel, within our people. So we've gone from one extreme to the other. First and foremost, we were not dwelling together, segregating this and that. Now we're learning who we are. We're coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. But what we're not doing, we're losing now. With that great wisdom we're getting, we're losing compassion. And with great understanding, we're losing tolerance. These are the things that are diminishing among our people. Because, how can you have, let's say you have, let me just use this as an example. Say you have IUIC, you have SOT, Sons of Thunder, you have HOI, you have IPS, UCK, or whatever. Now, you would have thought these brothers, they're all supposed to be doing the work of the Most High. They know about brotherly love. They should be able to dwell together in peace and harmony and tranquility. But what do you have? There was a brother from a camp. I won't name the camp. He was put in suspension because he was teaching with other brothers that wearing their fringes, that know they're Israelites. But yet, imagine that. One camp has put another brother in, shall we say, solitary confinement for teaching with other brothers. Now, how is that brotherly love? Condemning a brother for teaching with other brothers, but because he's not of your sect, your camp. How is that brotherly love? I ask you. Yeah? See, so, when you look at it, Israel is coming like the Christians, like the Baptists. The Baptist religion won't hang out with the, let's say, the Seventh-day Adventists. Let's say the Jehovah Witness don't like the Pentecost. It's that kind of thing that's happening in Israel. You got this camp won't go with that camp. This camp. This is why I like sometimes when I see SOT, HOI. And I think the other one might be Watchman for Israel or a Sakari. At least sometimes they come together and they have a unity camp and they dwell together and they do the work. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to rock up like you're busting through, you're going past brothers, you salute them. Yeah? Or, like, yeah, they invite you, come kick the read for us, kick the doctrine with us. Doesn't matter what sect or what camp you're from. Once you are doing the work and you're an Israelite and you're supposed to be accepted of any brother, yeah? What's wrong with, like, you might not be from their camp. Fine, but you can read. They call the scripture. You can read for them. You don't have to speak, but you can read for them. So they may do certain things different, and you may have a different camp, and you may not do it that way. But you are still reading the King James version of the Bible, so you can read for them. That shouldn't be an issue. But yet it's an issue amongst our people and amongst our sect. So this is the problem I'm having with Israel, is that what we're doing, we are using the laws to whip our brothers with, when we are supposed to be, the thing is, the laws are a guideline. That's what they are. And we've forgotten the fact that they are a guideline. Sometimes you have to go outside of it to do good or to do what's right. And you got to remember as well, we're in captivity as well. So there's some things you're not going to be able to do. Yeah? So we have to, these things, we brothers, in the truth, need to call to mind. Yeah? And we need to stop using the law as our personal whipping tool. Yeah? When we feel we're more righteous than the next man, and we feel that this guy has gone off. So what we do, we hit him up with the law. We're not thinking compassionately. We're not having no tolerance. We're not like looking at the man's situation. And remember, we're in this fleshly body. I mean, could you imagine Yahushua? He's perfect. Now, what happened if Yahushua dealt with us the way we deal with other brothers? Because Yahushua he is perfect. There was no spot or blemish on him. So what would you say if Yahushua dealt with you the way how you deal with brothers? Because Yahushua he is perfect. And every brother that whips another brother with the law, he is not perfect in his soul, in his flesh, even in his mind. Because I know I ain't, but I'm striving, I'm trying. But I think about other brothers' situation and what I don't do. If they ask me something, I'd advise them. But now the rest is up to them. But I'm not going to constantly whip them with it. Try to whip them into subjection with what I feel is right according to scripture. Because the laws, like I said, their laws are not rigid. And we are using them like there's no flexibility in them. They are a guideline. And we have to use them as a guideline, not as persecution. So this is why my opening verse is going to be Romans chapter 13 and verse 10. Because we have forgotten Israel. In all this wisdom and understanding and knowledge, you've forgotten brotherly love. What brotherly love really means. Not just saying it. It's an action. I'd rather you not say it, but show me it, rather than say it and can't show me it. So I'm going to start with Romans chapter 13 and verse 10. Yeah, that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to just, go through some certain scriptures and speak on them. Because like I say, this is really for the learned. So the learned will know these, but we've got to get off of our high horse and stop being over righteous. Israel, come on. Now, anyway, I've got my timer. Still got 20 minutes to do this in regardless. So in 3, 2, 1, boom, I'm away. Let's go. Romans chapter 13 and we're taking out verse 10, yeah. Romans chapter 13 and verse 10, and it reads, Love worketh no ill to his neighbour. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Now, see, it says love is the fulfilling of the law. Do you stop showing love because it says love is the fulfilling of the law? No, you continue in brotherly love all the way. Yeah? It says love worketh no ill. So you ain't supposed to have no ill towards your brother if you claim that, if you actually truly love him as you claim. Because it's so easy to say, this is love, this is love, this is love. but to show true love, especially when things ain't going the way you want it to go, to show real love. Now, there is the question. Watch this, yeah? I'm going to quickly jump to, stay in the book of Romans, Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Listen to this. Romans chapter 12 verse 10, and it reads, "Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another." You're going to find brotherly love, and this teaching of brotherly love is all over the scriptures, showing you the importance of brotherly love. And I'm telling you, a lot of brothers, especially in the truth, are going to get caught out by this one, because they're so busy like chastising you for certain things that they feel you're doing, yeah, but they've forgotten that brotherly love worketh patience, understanding, and everything with it, not just correction. Brotherly love doesn't just mean to correct your brother and say, this is love, I'm doing it out of love. Where's your compassion, your understanding, a feeling what the brother's going through and whatever else? Where's that part of the love that you're supposed to be showing? Yeah, now watch this. I'm going to jump to the book of Matthew chapter 22, and I'll take it at verse 36. And it reads, Matthew chapter 22 and verse 36, and it reads, "Master, which is the great commandment in the law?" Now this is a lawyer asking Yahushua, which is the great commandment. Now listen to what he says. What Yahushua, which is the one you call Christ, says unto him. He says this, verse 37 of Matthew chapter 22. "Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind." Verse 38. "This is the first and great commandment." Notice he said this is the first and great commandment. But watch verse 39. Verse 39. "And the second is like unto it." So the second is the first and great commandment also. Watch this. "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." So you see, the second commandment is just as important as the first. So you see, a lot of brothers is going to get caught out on that one. The second is just as important as the first. You cannot omit the second as in beneath the first. It's just as equal. Just like if I have a pair of shoes and I give you one like unto it, so it's the same as the one I have. It's no different. That's exactly what that's showing you. It's no different whatsoever. So, we've got to stop this using the laws as a beating stick. Yes, we have to correct our brothers also, but in correcting them, we cannot be over righteous, and we cannot feel that if the brother has transgressed the law, and then we are bringing it to him, and he's showing, well, haven't transgressed because of X, Y, Z. We have to now look at that rather than now still stand steadfast on it, say, yes, you have, and want him punished regardless. That's not brotherly love, yeah? That is not brotherly love. Watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump to the book of Hebrews. Let's jump to the book of Hebrews. We're going to go Hebrews chapter 13 and 1. Listen to this. Hebrews chapter 13 and 1. And it's so clear and easy. "Let brotherly love continue." There we go. How much more does that need to be said? Let brotherly love continue. Yeah? I can't add to that, because it is what it is. And watch this, yeah? And this is the problem, like I say, because even back in old, see where it says there's nothing new under the sun? That's so true. Because even back in the old, Yahushua himself, who was perfect, he was accused of breaking the Sabbath and making himself equal with the Most High. Let's read that verse. Watch this. The book of John, chapter 5 and verse 18. Now listen to this. John chapter 5 verse 18, and it reads, "Wherefore," it reads Salaki, "therefore the Jews sought more to kill him." See, people have his own people as always. The Jews sought more to kill him because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that the Most High was his father, making himself equal with the Most High. Now we know this is what he was accused of, but did he actually do it? No, he didn't. He didn't trespass. Remember, he was perfect, walking in the laws blamelessly. Yeah, but yet he was accused of it, so they tried to kill him. So they would have had their counsel, and they would have agreed. Why? Through envy. So sometimes you have to wonder, when certain brothers are whipping you, is it through envy, or is it that they, because, like when things ain't always going to go your way. Yeah, that's how life is. So now, rather than looking at a brother, what he's doing, and calling him out on it, like you what you're supposed to do is go to him and tell him he's fault himself. But you've got to remember, actually, as I bring that point, now this is a verse as well that brothers use, and I feel it's used incorrectly, and I'll show you why shortly. Actually, you know what? Let me go there now, actually, because as it's in my mind. Because watch this, yeah. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15. Watch this, yeah. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15, and it reads, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother." Now, that verse, I have to say, this is my personal feeling. So, everybody's, gonna have their personal view. But check it out why I say this. Now, it says, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee." Now, if thy brother trespass against you, you go and tell him his fault. Now, if he's broken the law, now that's a different matter, because he hasn't trespassed against you, he's trespassed the law. So yes, you still show him where he's trespassed the law, yeah? And then, then you discuss it, and if he can show you he hasn't, then that should be it, yeah? But if he's trespassed against you, then, you invoke, tell him his fault, and if he doesn't hear you, then you bring more witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses. If he doesn't hear you, then you bring it to the church, and if he still doesn't hear you, meaning that it's proven that he has trespassed against you, personally you, then he becomes a publican and a sinner to you. But if it's in the law, there's a different matter. Yeah, if it's proven he's transgressed, say even though you go that route as well, and it's proven in the law he has transgressed, then now some sort of judgment should be made. But if the council that is taken to do not agree he's transgressed the law, you cannot take it upon yourself to still want to pass judgment. That's what you cannot do. Now, let me go back to John chapter 5 verse 18, where let's go back to that, because that just come into my head. I wanted to say that. Watch this. Let me go back to John chapter 5 verse 18. Now, Yahushua was accused of breaking the Sabbath. Now, let's go to one place where he was accused of, because remember, he was accused of many. He was healing on the Sabbath, wasn't he? So they accused him that he broke the law because he's working. He healed on the Sabbath. Now, let me go to Matthew chapter 12 and take it at verse 1. Watch this. Matthew chapter 12 verse 1, and it reads, "At that time Yahushua went on the Sabbath day, through the corn, and his disciples were hungered." So his disciples were hungry, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. Listen to this. Now, the old good old Mr. Righteous again. Here we go. Verse 2. "But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day." Verse 3. "But he said unto them," this is what he said unto them, "Have ye not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him?" So now he's going into that part what David did when he was a hungered. He went into the where the priest is, and he ate the showbread, which wasn't lawful but only for the priest, but he was found blameless. So he's showing them certain things. And if you jump down to verse 12, then this is what Yahushua hit them with as well. How much there, he says, verse 11, Salaki, Matthew 12, verse 11, it says, and he said unto them, what man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? And then in verse 12, how much then is a man better than a sheep? And listen to this point. Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. So he's showing you it's lawful to do well on the Sabbath day. So that's my point about the laws not being rigid. They are flexible. It's how it's used is the situation that you could find yourself in, a bit of a problem. And watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump to the book of Leviticus. See, these, who I'm speaking to, like the 12 tribes, would know these. So I don't have to be specific and pinpoint. Because watch this. Sometimes, like, we get so up there, we forget the basics. So I just want to bring the basics to mind. Watch this. Leviticus chapter 19 and I'm going to take it at verse 16. Watch this. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16. And it reads, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. See, we need to remember these things. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise, Salaki, rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So yes, we have to correct our brother and not suffer sin upon him. But remember, that's if he's in sin, not if you perceive he's in sin. There's the difference. Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. So even if he disagrees and he can show you, you still ain't supposed to bear any grudge or avenge your brother. So now this brings me to my next point. Now I'm going to go to the wisdom. I'm going to show you something here. Now, first and foremost, even in marriage, yeah, let's go there. Even in marriage, watch this, yeah. This is what the law states. Exodus, I'm going to jump to Exodus chapter 21 and verse 10. Listen to this. Exodus chapter 21 verse 10. Exodus 21 verse 10, and it reads, this is a man, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So now this is showing, if a man takes another wife, he shall not diminish the duties he has to his first wife. But that also goes to the new wife. If he takes a new wife, the same duties of her raiment, her food, and all this, and being honorable to her, it should not diminish. If it does, his law is unlawful. In this day and age, it's not expedient to have two wives, because you cannot look after them the way you should according to scripture. So in this day and age, where we are now in captivity, it's not expedient and it's not lawful to have two wives, especially if you have one already. Now, here's my point. I'm going to jump to Ecclesiasticus. I just want to show you something. I'm going to go to the book of, no, not Ecclesiasticus, sorry. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. I'm going to take it at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Now, I'm going to take it at, let's take it at verse 2. This is Solomon explaining how children are formed. Like he says, no king comes through no other way a king is born. But watch this. I'm just going to take it at verse 1 and I'm going to take it into verse 2. There's a point I want in here. Listen to this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. And it reads, I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Verse 2. Here's the point I want. Is in verse 2. and in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compact in blood of the seed of man, and here we go, and the pleasure that comes with sleep. Now, Solomon is pointing out there's a pleasure that comes with sleep, how you bring forth children, which is sex. That's this pleasure he's referring to is sex, because he says the pleasure that comes with sleep. Now, watch this now. I'm going to jump to the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 21. Listen to this. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 21, and it reads, "Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure." Now, just wanted to show you the two differences here. Now, in Wisdom of Solomon, he clearly pointed out the pleasure he was talking about was sex, sleep, yeah, as he said. In Sirach, this pleasure is all the above, not just the sex, all other pleasures. If you want to take a woman because you just want to use her, or if you're not honorable, if you cannot keep her the way how you're supposed to, or you just got your own gain, like for your own pleasure, like that you want this woman, it's unlawful, because this one, it says, desire her not for pleasure. This is all pleasure, not just sleep. If you want her to get your stay, if you want her for just to be a workhorse, just to make sure you got clean, if you want her just to clean up the house, if you want her just to raise your children, if these are different pleasures, and if you ain't taking her honorably, then you shouldn't be with her. And the Most High will take her from you and give her to somebody that is honorable. Because watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump to the book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. Listen to this. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7, and it reads, "But Yahweh said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him." Listen to this. "For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart." Now you see, now Yahweh's looking at what your intentions are. That's what Yahweh's looking at, is your intentions. Yeah, and there is where he will dish out what is meat to you. So if your intentions are not honorable, he would see it, that you do not marry this woman, or whatever, and he will give her to somebody else. Yeah, that's how Yahweh works, and we need to understand that. Watch this. Philippians, I can't believe I'm about to time out. Philippians chapter 2 verse 12. Listen to this. Philippians chapter 2 verse 12, and it reads, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." And that's what we got to do. We need to work out our own salvation. Nothing wrong with telling a brother if you feel he's gone off, but if he showed you, yeah, I made an error, but now I'm not in error, you don't still constantly whip him with that whipping stick. Where is your compassion and your brotherly love that you claim you have for the people that you've been breaking bread with from morning? Now that's what I've got to say on that matter. I'm about to time out. I had many more things I wanted to say, but what can I say? This is Yasharallah. We out.